Yeah, thank you very much for that, Valley.
Go ahead.
So the argument started with the example of child marriage in like done by some Muslims, and so then they said, and I brought up an example of child marriage in Yemen, and they said, well, was that with
read the thing, man. What's wrong with you? Read the thing, man. What's wrong with you, bro? Read the thing.
No, James Jones
read it.
Hear what the claim was.
Read the thing. No, read the thing.
Wait.
No, read. No, I'm gonna come back in then. No,
Belly, man, this guy needs to go there.
Yeah.
He needs to go, man. It's just
he said he was gonna read the thing. I went quiet. Now he's talking on next.
Dickhead, bro. Shut up.
James, go ahead and read what you got. James.
Islamic law. That's diarrhea.
You're a little gamer. You're a gamer talking shit, acting like you're a hood man. You're nothing, bro. Don't try to shit to me. You're nothing, bro.
Mim, can I ask you a question, Mim?
Got you. No. Okay, I'm going to continue.
James, 1 second, James, 1 second. Let me ask him a question.
Say that you can marry a child without her permission. Can the father marry off the child without her consent? And I'm showing that this is a legitimate opinion in Islamic law. And this is, I'm reading from the distinct...
Where's the hadith?
I made a claim about Islamic law, okay? Distinguished Jurist Primer, the Book of Nikah. This is volume 2. I posted the link in the back chat. And it says here, on page 4, starting from this paragraph, on the question of women, whose consent is taken into account in marriage, they agreed that the consent of the deflowered baligh. And what does baligh mean? It says down here, the term baligh is used for someone who has obtained the age of puberty. So for the pubescent woman, their consent, if they've been deflowered, is to be taken into account. Because of the saying of the Prophet, God's peace and blessings be upon him, the deflowered woman expresses her own consent. That's interesting, rather than that the Prophet didn't just say the woman expresses her own consent. That's interesting that he has to say the deflowered woman expresses her own consent. But let's continue. Except what is narrated from Al-Hassan al-Basri. They disagreed about the baligh version, so the pubescent virgin, and the non-baligh, i.e. prepubescent, deflowered girl, when she does not exhibit bad behavior, apparently. About the baligh, the pubescent virgin, Malik, al-Shafi, and Ibn Abi Layla said that it is only the father to force her to marry. Abu Hanifa, al-Thawri, al-Awzi, Abu Thawr, and a group of jurists said that it is necessary to take her consent into consideration. Malik agreed with them about the virgin spinster in one of his opinions. Okay?
Just in Malik in the book.
Islamic law, the Maliki school and the Shafi school say that the father can force the pubescent virgin to marry. And it goes on to talk about the non-baligh virgins. Here it is. The reason for their disagreement is based on the conflict of the indirect indication of the communication, the Dalil al-Kitab, with the relevant general meaning in this, which is found in the saying reported from the Prophet's, peace and blessings be upon him, that the orphan girl is not to be married without her permission, and also his saying that the orphan girl is to be asked about herself. It is narrated by Abu Dawood, the meaning derived from it, through the indication of the communication, is that one having a father is different from an orphan girl. The saying of the Prophet in the well-known tradition of Ibn Abbas, the virgin is to be asked for her permission, makes the seeking of permission from each virgin obligatory through its generality. The general meaning is stronger than the indirect indication of the text. But Muslim has narrated in the tradition of Ibn Abbas that an addition that the virgin's permission is to be sought by her father is the decisive on this point of dispute. And it goes on to talk about non-baligh deflowered women. So prepubescent deflowered little girls. Malik and Abu Hanifa said that the non-baligh deflowered woman, that the father can force her to marry, while Al-Shafi said that he is not to force her. The later Malachites said that there are 3 views about her in the school. First, that the father can force her as long as she has not attained puberty after the divorce. This is the opinion of Ashab. Second, that he can force her even though she has obtained puberty. This is the opinion of Sanun. Third, that he is not to force her even if
Yes, you're giving us opinions. You're giving us opinions. You do realize that?
The original claim was about Islamic law, and I said that this is a legitimate opinion in Islamic law that you can force girls to marry, like those Yemenis did when they forced these 9-year-olds.
Where's the hadith? Show us the hadith. Show us the hadith.
Well,
Show us the hadith. Show us the hadith.
Listen, I made the claim about Islamic law. You guys said, no, this isn't part of Islamic law, and now I've shown it is. Now you're trying to change the goalposts.
Subscribe to the Reanimator and hit the notification bell. Like, share, all that good stuff.